Hi everybody, it's Saturday afternoon and I thought I would do a quick video on how to make my world famous flatbread. I grill this flatbread for my whole church maybe once a semester. It's always a crowd favorite. It's soft, it's chewy, it's just wonderful. So it's a pretty basic recipe. Again, if you have a stand mixer, throw this all in your stand mixer and press go until it forms a nice cohesive ball. But if you don't have one, we'll do it by hand. This is 6 cups of all-purpose flour. It's a nice, easy recipe to remember. A tablespoon each. Are we going to do that? Okay. Dry yeast or a package. Sugar. And salt. And then I like to put some herbs in this. If you have fresh herbs, fresh thyme, fresh rosemary diced up, it's delicious. I'm still waiting for my herbs to come in, so I use dried thyme. You can use green onion, oregano, kind of whatever's going to match with your meal. So that's about a tablespoon of dried thyme as well. That's your dried goods. I'm going to stir that up a little bit. Now the only difference between this bread and some of my other breads is it actually contains a fair amount of oil. This is actually half a cup of butter and half a cup of olive oil. You can do just, if you don't want to do dairy, you can do just vegetable oil and olive oil, just vegetable, all olive. That's a lot of olive oil, but it is a full cup. It's kind of what sets this bread apart, makes it really tender and really soft and chewy. So we're going to add that straight in, along with 2 cups of room temperature water. And that is your whole recipe. We just stir it together until it comes together. Got that? What you'll need to grill this at church, I have a beautiful, wonderful big griddle that I love. I wish I had one of those in my house. But here I just use my Cuisinart griddler. Any kind of griddle will work. A skillet. Again, this is a very large recipe. 6 cups of flour makes enough for our family to have 2 of these, or 2 batches. What I like to do, especially with this bread, is go ahead and make the large batch, and then as soon as they're done cooking and have cooled, put them in Ziploc bags and freeze them. They reheat really well. They fit perfectly in a toaster. Let me go ahead. And they're almost as good reheated. You can just pop it in the microwave for a little bit of time. I use flatbread usually to go with my chicken tikka masala, my buttered chicken, or any other kind of curry, because it's almost like a scoop you can eat your curry with. But you can certainly use it as a nice sandwich wrap. Boy, we grill chicken on these sometimes, make a little tahini and cucumber and call it a Mediterranean night. There's all kinds of things you can do with it, or it's just a great bread on its own. We get excited on flatbread night. So I've stirred in as much moisture as I can. This will need a little bit of kneading, but just until a nice cohesive ball forms. You can feel the softness of the oil. It smells really good too. You can also make a variety of sizes with this flatbread. Sometimes if I'm doing them as a sandwich wrap, I'll make them quite a bit larger. If it's just a side to dip in your curry or whatever, they're usually about the size of a pancake, I guess. In fact, the first time I made these for church, people were very confused as to why I was serving pancakes with curry. Okay, we're getting close here. Almost all my flour has been incorporated. You can see that. You can see this is another one. Yeah, this is another one where you don't want the palm of your hand sticking to the dough. So you want it to have a nice shiny texture on the outside. Lena picked some flowers from the yard. She wanted to show you all. Clover is very happy in this nice weather. All right. So there we go. That's it's a little bit shaggy, but that's okay. This is our dough. Let's see, my hands are not sticking to it. So we're going to let that rise for about an hour, or I'm going to put this in my fridge tonight because we're going to have curry for lunch tomorrow. So I will pull this out tomorrow around noon, and I will show you how to roll it out and grill it. So cover this, let it sit at room temperature for an hour, or go ahead and refrigerate it for even a few days. Okay, we'll see you then. Hi. Well, it's Sunday afternoon, and I've got my flatbread dough that's been in the fridge all night. You can see here it's risen, nicely doubled. It's very squishy, okay, and it's not sticky. So we're going to go ahead and just plop this out on a floured surface. Ooh, it's nice. I love this dough. It's really soft. Okay, we're going to push all the air out of it. And then we're going to divide it up. It depends on what size flatbread you want. If you're using it as a sandwich wrap, you're going to need it to be a little bit bigger. And if you were using it as just a little handheld bread to dip in a curry or a soup, you can go smaller. So the smaller size, generally, I get about 24 out of this, or 16 large, 12 to 16 depending. We're doing, I was going to do a curry today, but I decided to do chicken wraps instead. So I'm going to make larger pieces. So I've got my bench scraper here, or any knife will do, or a pizza cutter. Just cut it in half. Hang on, sweetie. Again, these are going to be very imperfectly shaped. There's no need to get them perfect. So this is a quarter of my dough. I will probably quarter this again, and that will be 16 pieces total. Again, if this seems like a lot of bread to you, this is what we're looking at here. These freeze really nicely. Once they've been grilled, you can cool them down and put them in a Ziploc, and they warm up beautifully in any old toaster or even in the microwave. Okay, we'll cut these in a minute. So then we're just, my kitchen ladies will tell you, I am not exact about this either, just gently pull them to any kind of irregular oblong shape. If they need a little bit of help, you can use a rolling pin. My Tom Ernst rolling pin. Hang on, sweetie, just 1 second. So I'll just roll this out a little bit just to show you. Usually I would stretch all of them out at once. Okay, and these are going to get beautifully puffy on the griddle. Okay, so I'm looking at about this size for kind of a wrap. Okay, think of like small tortilla, but it's fairly thick. It's not as thin as a tortilla. And there's yeast in it, so it will puff up. So we're going to let that sit for just a few minutes to let it relax. Yeah, you can do that. Go ahead and stretch them out. Okay, so that's a couple done. I have here my Cuisinart griddler. It's kind of like a panini press / griddle. It has plates, interchangeable plates. So I like to use the grill one. It kind of gives a nice grill pattern. You can do these on a grill over low flame if you want, and they'll get a little bit charred, but that's kind of good. You can use a regular skillet, any kind of griddle, just as long as there's a flat surface that gets hot. This is hot, like as high as I can get it on here, which says sear, because these are going to cook very fast. A little bit of olive oil. I like to sprinkle on here, kind of brush it around a little bit with a pastry brush. And then this is actually easier. I oil the grill. I sprinkle it with some kosher salt, because that gives it a really nice salty crunch on the outside. And then we're just going to go right on there. This is a really hot griddle. So because these are larger, I'm only going to be able to fit 2 or 3 on here at once. If I did the smaller ones, they would, oh, Thank you.
I love one.
Yeah, go ahead. So I'm going to say they need about 2 minutes on each side. They'll get puffy, and you can just peek underneath, and they will start to have got, they will get a little bit brown on the bottom. So give me 1 minute. Thank you. Okay, so this has been going about 2 minutes. And you can see it's gotten nicely golden underneath. So we're just going to flip that over. It's pretty much fully cooked at this point, but we're just going to toast it a little bit on the other side. Yes, it is very short. So I have some grilled chicken that I'm going to slice thinly, and I made a kind of a Mediterranean cucumber yogurt sauce. Of course, you can do any kind of sandwich fixings on these. You can do little meatballs, falafel, or serve them. I mean, you can serve them with any meal, really. But these are always a treat around here. So there we have our grilled herbed flatbread. Okay, got it a little bit brown on that side. I don't let it cook too crispy because otherwise it's not as flexible. So we want it to be, bendable so we can fill it up. So that's all we have for flatbread today. I hope you all are having a lovely Sabbath, and we'll see you next time.